Hey, so what do you do when your Etsy shop gets the payment reserve for 90 days put on it? So basically, I went away for a week and one of my orders was messed up apparently with my print on demand supplier. So I come back home and I got a notification on my shop that this is one of my newer shops that Etsy had put a payment reserve on my account, which means for 90 days they're going to have this on here. So originally I thought, okay, that means that for 90 days I'm not going to be paid. But I went into finances and then payment account. And basically what it is during this, it says right here, during this period, 75% of the funds you earn from each order will be unavailable for deposit until your order ships with valid tracking or after 45 days from the date of sale. And then they say this money is yours. It'll be applied to any unexpected charges or refunds, and you can deposit the amount available after the reserve period, given there are no other holds on your account. So right now I have no holds because I don't really, it's a brand new shop. There's 150 listings on it. Started it not too long ago. But I'm thinking, like, how do I get rid of this? What can I do? So there's a couple options. You can go here and you can go learn about reserves, which will take you to this. To release funds from an order from a reserve, try adding a tracking number to the order. If Etsy can confirm that the tracking number shows the order in transit, the reserve funds will be released immediately. So first thoughts are this: when you get this, if an order falls through the cracks, or if you go away for a week, come back and there's this issue because your supplier needed some information. This was a customized necklace on this shop, and it was an order, and I thought before I left I did it right, but apparently I didn't. So if you get this, I'm guessing they're doing it just to protect themselves and to protect the buyers. It's not a good thing for your shop, but it's not the end of the world. So it just says, like, right from their stuff, if a payment account reserve is placed on a seller's account, a percentage of funds from each new sale of a physical item is set aside until the order is in transit with a valid tracking number, or 45 days if valid tracking is not provided. So not the end of the world from that point of view. However, if we're looking at the hierarchy of shops on Etsy, there are like the top selling shops, there's the mid-tier shops, and then there's all the new shops. This is a new shop. So what I noticed going back through my traffic stats for this new shop is that as soon as this payment account reserve went on, my traffic went like and just like plummeted. I'm running Etsy ads on this shop as well, and they're just saying to me, basically without saying to me, that we are not giving you any traffic because we don't trust you, because you missed the shipping date on one of your products. So from that point of view, sitting where I'm sitting right now, I'm thinking, okay, should I just shut this down and open up another shop? The answer is no, because if I do that, I am just starting from scratch again. So I'm right back at the end of the line. So what I'm going to do is, there were other options here. You can see if I go back. The restart tutorial, let's go here. I don't even know what this is. Why would it say that? Restart tutorial. Okay, so okay, so why is it? Because of risk factors that can trigger a reserve on your account. If you recently received a larger amount of sales, for example, funds are held to cover any expected charges or refunds. This money's yours after the reserve period. Okay, that didn't happen to me. How can I get my money sooner? So your funds will become available as soon as your order ships with valid tracking, or after 45 days if your order doesn't ship or include valid tracking. Based on an internal analysis in 2021, most Etsy sellers saw their funds released within 1 or 2 weeks from the date of sale. So they say it's like a 90-day hold, but I don't know where this 90 days is coming from, because there's no 90 days involved. It's not maybe, I think what they mean is the 90-day period, like kind of like putting you into the penalty box in hockey for 90 days. I think that's what they mean, but it comes off as we're holding your money for 90 days, but it's not actually holding your money for 90 days. So once you do the tracking number, they'll release the money. And then this as well, which is the whole reason that they call it a 90-day. So reserves are placed on shops that exhibit certain risk factors, including new shops, for a 90-day period. During this time, all sales are subject to being unavailable for deposit. We'll email you once a reserve on your payment account has been lifted. So I'm sitting here, December 14th. So I've got January 14th, February 14th, March 14th before this thing is lifted off my account. It couldn't have hit at a worse time because this week is like one of the best weeks out there for sales on Etsy, and I'm losing it. So my traffic is down. I got hit with this. So what can I do? What should I do? What would you do in this situation? What did you do in this situation if you had this? So I went to Google and I said this. So how to get rid of Etsy 90-day reserve. And there's a whole bunch of like Reddit things out there, and there's help on Etsy. But if you email support about this 90-day reserve, they're not going to do a thing. You're going to get a canned response from them. They got a huge influx of sellers recently, and their support can't handle it. So they couldn't handle it in the first place, honestly, but now they really can't handle it. So you basically have to hold it out. So there are posts on the Etsy community, and you see, I think it was this one, where people are really getting upset with this. So frustrated, put a 75% reserve on my account. My shop has been open for 1.5 months. I already had maybe 37 sales. Blah, da, 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 da. So some of these are random. Yeah, like this one, they didn't have anything wrong at all, and they just got the reserve. So I guess you can get the reserve for no reason too. I got it because the one product was late, and it was, I guess, my fault for not checking, but there are a lot of people out there. Here's another one. I'm a new seller. They just put 75% reserve on my account. Also, it shouldn't even be legal. It's hard enough to build up a new business without Etsy working against us as sellers. I'm furious. I can't believe this is even legal, and I will look into it. I've never had a return or an unhappy customer, but products are always delivered before the anticipated arrival date. We all have a credit card attached to our account, which should cover anything unexpected, outrageous, makes for poor relations from Etsy and its sellers. I don't trust them any longer. This is just incentive to build my own website, which is what we should all be doing. So, a couple things with this one. They can do whatever they want. It's their platform, number one. Number two, stores do go into a probation period. I know there's no official word on this anywhere, but when you open a shop, Etsy has to make sure you're real, and they have to make sure you're going to actually provide the products that you sell, and they have to make sure you're not committing fraud. So there are fraudsters out there that will open up an Etsy shop, make a whole bunch of fake listings, take a whole bunch of sales, and then run and be done with it. They deal with that daily. So if there's, I personally think this reserve thing can be random, and it can be put on new shops, and it can be put on shops that are even on an IP address that might have had somebody else on that IP address who actually did something wrong. Then they'll just flag that whole thing, and anybody who's under that will get the reserve. So if you're thinking from Etsy's point of view, they're just protecting their business, because if Etsy gets known as a place where scammers can go and steal people's money, Etsy's not going to survive and prosper as a business. So getting that upset about it, don't do that. It's not a 90-day hold. It's just they're keeping the money for like a week or two after you put in the tracking number. So there's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, back when I did places like ClickBank, or what was the other one? Affiliate marketing. I can't remember the name of the network, but they would hold your money for 30 days, all your affiliate payments, your commission payments for 30 days, and then release it the next month. So you wouldn't get your money for 60 days. So you're sitting there running ads, making sales, thinking you're doing really well, and then you wouldn't see a dime for like a month or two, which was absurd. So anyway, this lady has, I don't think she has any right to be upset. They can do what they want. Now, the other point of building your own website, which is what we should all be doing, I do think you should be building your own website. I think you should be running both Etsy and, like, say, Shopify or WooCommerce, or going direct with companies, whatever you need to do. I agree with her on that. You do need to diversify. I think the number one reason that people even open up Etsy shops is because there's about 92, 93 million buyers on Etsy right now, and you don't have to buy ads to get access to them. Now, it's a trade-off because you lose a lot of freedom, you lose a lot of decision making on your own, and you have to follow their rules. And any rules that they have that you don't like, it's like, too bad. So when you open up, say, a Shopify store, now you're king of the castle, right? Or queen of the castle. You can do whatever you want. You can, there's not going to be a reserve put on by Shopify. And I shouldn't even say that, because there can be still, if you're using Shopify payments and they don't like what you're selling, or if they're getting complaints about your shop, then they will still put a reserve on it. You can't escape this stuff. So there's always going to be trade-offs. I think the 90-day reserve on Etsy it's fine. I mean, when you first get that email and when you first see that notification, the first reaction is to be upset and to be angry and to say, I'm out of here. This is the last straw. Well, then you take a breath and you realize that it's not the last straw. It's not the end of the world. Every shop is going to go through slow periods, and I think the key factor, the number one key factor for success on Etsy has been and always will be time. And it's how long has your shop been open, then how many sales have you made, and how many of those are good sales in Etsy's point of view. Because if you're making a lot of sales for Etsy, they're charging you all those fees on every sale. They're making more money off you. So who do you think they're going to give priority to in the search results when somebody's in there typing candle Christmas gift for my husband? Well, it's a shop that has that candle Christmas gift, but they've got a good history. They've been open for a while. They're not under a payment account reserve, and you can get back to that too. So I think Etsy is kind of sold as a get-rich kind of quick thing, and it's certainly not. I think it's 6 months to a year, and probably about a year and a half, 2 years is when it will really start taking off. Unfortunately, there's a lot of seller churn because people don't have the patience to wait it out. If you do have the patience to wait it out, you will do really well on Etsy, providing you actually do all the things you're supposed to do. So the reserve on Etsy, it's not the end of the world. It sucks to go through, but once you come out the other end, I personally believe if Etsy says, hey, we're going to do this to you, it's kind of like a test. And it's like Etsy's trying to see how much gumption you have and how willing you are to stick it out before they kind of open the floodgates of traffic for you. So I look at it as a challenge to get through. So I'm sitting here December 14th. I got to go to like January, February, March 14th. That'll be released. I'm interested to see how my traffic goes up at that point when I made it through this, and then I came out the other side. I personally believe Etsy will look at that and say, okay, they're legit. So they're not under probation anymore. Let's give them a little bit more traffic. That's what I think is going to happen. Let me know if you've been through this before in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on the reserve and how you deal with it. And let me know if you think it's fair or you think it's not fair. Let me know down in the comments. If you like it, subscribe, hit that like button. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.